Stephen King Sleepwalkers is the second film by Mick Garris and the 864th idea by Stephen King. Written sometime before he was hit by a car, but after he realized people would pay for literally every idea that popped into his skull. The film stars Mädchen Amick, the Borg Queen, Leo from Charmed, and a cast of horror directors with nothing better to do that weekend. The film tells the tale of an incestuous pair of vampiric werecats who travel around the country wasting their limitless powers creating hot rods out of thin air and, yeah. That. After a genuinely charming romance between Brian Krause and the Mädchen Amick, we discover that the mother-humping new guy and his mom stay youthful and hunky by sucking the life force out of virgin girls, which happens in a matter of seconds, as opposed to human men, who tend to spread that out over the course of a woman's 20s with starter marriages and motherhood. Oh Jesus, they're making out again. God, is that unsettling. The film is directed by Mick Garris, who seems to have fallen in love with German word for girl Amick, since her close-ups are the only part of the movie that have any cinematic effort put into them. That's not to say that the movie doesn't try to entertain, it just tries by repeatedly upping the ante on murder and weirdness. I guess you could call this a B-movie, as it was made back when B-movies meant everyone involved knew not to expect much, including the audience. Unlike nowadays, when every marketing strategy is intended to trick audiences into spending 2 hours and $60 just to relive some twinkle of nostalgia for the good ideas that came out in the time when this movie was made. Anyway, it turns out the mother needs to feed or she'll die, and has no desire whatsoever to influence this happening, possibly because a horde of cats have her under house arrest, and she spends every waking moment either berating or, diddling her son. Of course, when they get John Madden Amick into a perfect situation to do that, they don't, which is handy because otherwise we wouldn't have a second half of the movie to watch. The cops are onto our mother-son boff team because, I don't know, this movie's dumb. I guess the two of them can't help themselves and always wind up going on a killing spree. Perhaps when you're an indestructible werecat, you start to see the world around you like GTA 5. After the son racks up a 5-star rating from the police and takes a cat to the face, Mama Bear finally decides to get off her ass and start killing people. With guns, with knives, with bare ears of corn. The movie suffers from one giant plot hole, the issue being that the two monsters could restrain and soul suck this 90-pound girl at pretty much any time they want, but they don't because then we wouldn't have an ending to the movie. An ending which consists of a pack of wildcats incinerating the mother with the awesome power of scritches! Literally every character, except for maybe should have picked a stage name Amick, dies in this pseudo-supernatural horror flick, and the audience is left to ponder the life choices that led them to dedicating an hour and a half to this movie in the first place. So did I like this movie? Actually, yeah, I did. Remember what I was saying before about this being a B movie? That means you have to shut off the part of your brain that cares about stories making total sense and alter your perception somewhat. And yes, it takes a lot of crap storytelling to get to it, but the moment Alice Krige goes Terminator on everyone, this movie goes from B to A for awesome. I mean, any movie where Ron Perlman gets his fingers bitten off 3 seconds before his radius is snapped through his skin is damn good watching. Plus, you get to see an alternate dimension version of Ferris Bueller's parents getting brutally murdered. Let's break it down by the numbers. $30 million gross, $15 million budget, 13 on-screen deaths, 6 cheesy cameos, 4 severed appendages, 2 mother-son love scenes, and 1 creepy as hell Enya song. I give it 2.5 rubber cat suits out of 5.